Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by...
For over 30 years, Vanguard Outdoors has made the gear that turns a regular hunt into another fine day of field. We know that a good shooting stick or a nice pair of binoculars can make or break your day. Our design teams include serious hunters who work hard to bring you the best sporting optics, shooting sticks, tripods, bags, and more. We are Vanguard Outdoors.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We've got a really good show lined up for you. We're going to kick things off in one of my favorite parts of the state, and that is the northwest part of the Lower Peninsula, doing a little Lake Trout and Cisco fishing there. Then we're going to head to mid-Michigan and introduce you to the American Pointing Lab Association. Some really cool folks there and some really good dog work. And we're going to have time for a recipe as well. Lots of good stuff. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com.
The Michigan Charter Boat Association has provided education of the Great Lakes fishery for over 52 years. Information about Great Lakes fishing opportunities as well as captain advocacy can be found at michigancharterboats.com. By Network Outdoors, connecting members to share experiences, help grow businesses, and to give back to the outdoor community. Learn more at one of 10 monthly meetups or online at networkoutdoors.com.
A few weeks back, I was able to spend a day on the water with a couple of anglers targeting Cisco and Lake Trout in one of the more beautiful areas in the entire state, Grand Traverse Bay.
Here we are on Grand Traverse Bay. We're on East Bay currently, where we're going to go out and fish shallow water, targeting Lake Trout and Cisco. It's a short run each year. It's about a month each year. You can go out in shallow water and target these fish between about 30 and 60 feet deep. It's been great lately. This late May, early June is very productive every year. It's a pretty consistent fight.
We fished 20 to 30 foot of water yesterday, so we caught probably 20 to 30 fish, lost maybe about the same amount. A lot of Lakers, a lot of Cisco, about 50-50 mix of each. Covered a lot of water, and we ended up finding a bunch of fish on kind of a shallower reef. So we're fishing half-ounce heavy hitters. They're a tungsten jigging spoon, which allows us to downsize their presentation. And Cisco's have really small mouths, and so it's advantageous to have a smaller spoon. And these tungsten spoons really give us an advantage for those. When you're fighting them, you got to be really, really careful because they've got soft mouths, so you just kind of baby them in. Like another Cisco.
It's a nice fish here. Oh, not ready yet. They fight pretty good for their size. There we go.
We started catching fish almost immediately, and the action was pretty steady throughout the morning. Although early summer is the best time of year to target these fish in shallow water, you can catch them throughout the summer and even into the fall.
Here on Grand Traverse Bay this time of year, it's a really great time to be out here. It's one of the few times of the year that you can actually fish shallow. You know, the shoreline water temperature will warm up first, and because of that, it'll draw in Cisco and lake trout. You know, even smallmouth. You know, I've caught whitefish out here, and it's one of the few times of the year you can catch all these fish within the same water column basically. They'll leave the bay July and August, but usually around Labor Day, a little bit after Labor Day, they'll kind of start working their way into the bay, and it sets up for a great fishery in the fall. And lake trout season closes here October 1st. So starting October 1st, I'll pretty much only be doing Cisco charters, as long as the weather permits. In the fall, it's more of a trolling bite. It's a great bite. I mean, about 20 to 40 fish is your average catch. So if you want to, fill the cooler up and get a good mess of fish in your freezer for the winter, it's a great time to come out here.
Although the fish were biting, the wind was making it difficult to cast very far from the boat, which led us to reposition the boat several different times in order to cast more effectively.
It's a little windy. Obviously, we're rocking and rolling a little bit, but we're catching fish. You got to kind of cast downstream or upstream of the boat, or upwind or downwind of the boat, due to obviously lack of feel. If you cast sideways, you get a big bow in your line, so it'll be advantageous to fish directly downwind or upwind for sensitivity, feeling the bites. And there we go. There's one on.
Oh, man. That's probably a laker right there, huh?
Yeah, that might be a laker. A little angry. Yeah, we're just kind of ripping it up about 2 foot, working the jigs back to the boat. You can vertical jig these, but I find I actually catch a lot more fish when I pitch them out from the boat, and really control your fall rate. So you want to select the right weight. If you're fishing like 20 foot and less, you fish 1/2 ounce. If you're fishing, let's say 20 to 40 foot, 3/4, and then 40 foot plus, I usually fish 1 ounce. And you can change that depending on line diameter and whatnot, but it gives you kind of a hard, fast rule starting point for you.
Although the tackle needed for this style of fishing is very basic, there are a few tips and tricks that these guys shared to help you put more fish in the net.
For the main line, I like to run, a braided line, where a lot of the water we're fishing, 20 to sometimes 60 feet deep doing this, and then you need a braided line so you have like a tight connection to your bait. You can feel what's going on, and if you're using a monofilament backing, there's just too much stretch in that line to get the correct action that you need out of that bait, and plus you'll miss a lot of your hits if you run a monofilament. So if you're coming out here, definitely use braided line, and then I use it around about 20-pound test. Then I'll run it down to fluorocarbon leader, which is usually 10 to 14 pound. You want something a little bit stronger, because we do have like zebra mussels out here. So if you're running your line along that, you want something that's going to withstand the markings of running your line across that. And then for the terminal tackle, I like to use a small snap swivel.
The main thing is why we use a snap on these. They're such a hard material that if you tie direct to this, when this comes down on a rock, it pinches between your line and the rock, or between the lure and the rock, and it cuts your line. So always use a snap swivel on these. And as you can see, I just run a snap. I don't run the swivel on there. You do get some line twist. What you can do is troll really slowly with your line out behind the boat, and that line twist will come out automatically if you get too much line twist from fighting fish. But yeah, having that free movement too. I don't like the kind that pinches, that has like an angled part. I like the rounded one because it allows that front of the spoon to wobble more. And these spoons actually act with a swivel on there. They act more like a blade bait than they do a spoon. They've got a really erratic action on the lift. And so just retaining that action with the snap is absolutely key. And then you'll see I've got a leader. If it was any calmer, I might even run a longer leader, but I run about a 5-foot leader. And you'll notice here I've got a braid to fluorocarbon knot, and I like an Alberto knot, but whatever knot you're comfortable tying that you know is going to hold is all you really need. I don't like swivels because they tear up your guides, and we run long enough leaders to where we'd have to reel the swivel in through our guides, so don't want a swivel on there. Lighten him up. He's got the hot hand.
Got the hot hand right now.
Yeah.
Grand Traverse Bay at its finest. Looks like we got didn't get a good glimpse of it yet.
It's so much fun coming up here and just tearing up fish. It's like a Cisco.
Yep, another Cisco here.
Come here, little fella.
There we go. Nice. There we go.
These guys both work in the fishing industry, one as a charter captain and one on the tackle side of things. And although it can be challenging, both of them enjoy what they do.
Yeah, it's been an absolute riot. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I absolutely love working in the fishing industry. I used to work in like the hardware industry, and everyone comes in with something broken and they're not happy, right? And in the fishing industry, they're always happy. They're always headed out to do something they're passionate about. So it's a whole different mindset, and I'm very fortunate to be able to work in it for as long as I have. I ran a shop for 6 years, and then I started getting into making tackle 5 years ago, actually. And so yeah, I've got a lot of background in it, and I've been fishing since I was 3 years old or so. So it's definitely something I'm passionate about. Wouldn't change a thing for the world. Kind of feeling a little bit like a Laker. Staying down. Come say hi, little fella.
Not yet, I guess, huh?
Nope. He's like, nope, I don't like that boat. I don't want nothing to do with those guys. They're no good. I really like it because you don't see a lot of boats around. It's kind of secluded. You've got it most of the water to yourself. It doesn't get overfished. You can come out here even if you're not a super knowledgeable fisherman and usually put some fish in the boat. It's relatively easy fishing, and it's gorgeous scenery. And you know, you drop the wife off at the wineries and come out here on the water and have a great time. So it's a great destination to come fish.
What a great day on the water. The fishing was so good that before it was all said and done, I was able to land a few myself, which doesn't happen very often. Special thanks to Michael and Tyler for letting me tag along on a fun day of fishing here on Grand Traverse Bay.
That might be the big fish of the day right there. There you go, Jordan. You're only gonna get one. That's the one. I think that is a big fish.
Well, it looks like those guys had a lot of fun up there on the water. We're going to shift gears now and head inland a little bit, the central part of the state where just a few weeks ago I was introduced to the American Pointing Lab Association. Some really good folks, some really good dog work.
We have an APLA test, an American Pointing Laboratory Association test. We do retrieving series on land and water, and then we also do upland field where the dogs go out and point birds, and then we shoot them and retrieve them.
Nice. And is there a lot of people that are here today?
We have about 30 dog handlers.
Nice. Yeah. And are they from where they just from all over or just
from all over? We have people mostly from Michigan, but we have someone from North Carolina, we have someone from Virginia, we have a couple people from Colorado.
Okay. And what's the attraction of the Pointing Lab?
It's just a great all-around dog, so they're really great as waterfowl hunters, and they're awesome with families, and you can take them and do upland hunting as well, just like the German short hairs and what people could refer to as pointing dogs.
Okay.
So.
I have to say, it is hard to beat watching a good dog work, and I was excited to see just what these pointing labs could do, both in the upland woods and on the water. There were three basic parts to today. There were water retrieves, land retrieves, and then the upland fields. Troy Benson filled me in on the club.
Well, our membership is right around, I want to say 300 to 400. Our main goal is to identify, certify, and promote our pointing labs. So our Labradors are just the same as every other Labrador, except for they will point birds in the upland. So we test the retrieving ability of them, and we also test their ability in the upland as far as pointing birds, searching, desire, all of those things. We have different categories that we use for scoring, but our main goal is to identify the best dogs and then promote them all over the country.
Nice. And how long have you been doing this?
How long have I been doing this?
Yeah.
Since 2003, it says on my shirt, so 20 years.
Good thing you got that shirt on.
Yeah, I would have forgot for sure. But right around 20 years. So.
And home for you is where?
I live in Cottonwood, Minnesota, which is in the southwest corner of the state. I'm about an hour from South Dakota and an hour from Iowa.
Okay.
So.
Nice. So are these pointing labs becoming more and more popular?
Yeah, our membership has grown exponentially in the last 10 years. They're becoming more and more popular all over the country, and that's based on everything improving, from starting with the breeders doing the best job that they can to produce a high-quality dog.
There were definitely some high-quality dogs here today, and some that were just getting started. Troy ran me through the different stages of the trials here today.
In the APLA, we have 3 different levels of testing. We have certified, which is pretty much an entry-level test where the dog has to hunt the upland field, point each bird for 5 seconds. They do not have to be steady when the bird goes up. They have to retrieve it to within a reasonable step. And as long as they perform in the upland, they get to do 2 water retrieves, and the water retrieves are typically 50 yards or less in open water. So that's our certified field. If they complete all of that, they get a pass. In order to get a title for that level, you have to pass the test twice. Advanced is a little bit tougher. So it's a double, which means there's 2 birds. One comes out and another comes out. And we do that on land, and we use ducks for that. And then we do the same thing on water. In advance, they have to run a blind, which is a taught retrieve, basically. So the dog will be sent from the handler's side, typically, and somewhere between, I want to say 40 and 50 yards is the typical APR blind, and the dog has to sit on a whistle or at least stop and be casted to the bird so that they can pick up that duck. In the upland field, for an advanced dog, they have to search the field. They have to point for 10 seconds, and then they also don't have to be steady through the flush. So if they hold their point for 10 seconds, that's a good point. We count that. We plant 4 birds for the advanced field, and the certified gets 3. And then as long as they complete all of that within a reasonable manner, they get a pass, and it takes 2 passes for them to title in advanced. Unless they have a certified title, then they only have to have 1 pass. In master, master's our highest level of testing. So they have a double, which is 2 ducks coming out with a blind retrieve mixed in, and they do that on land and water. On one of those series, we have a diversion bird, meaning when the dog's coming back with a retrieve, we'll throw another bird off the side so that we can test the dog's level of cooperation and steadiness as well. In the upland, for the master, is probably where the rubber meets the road the most. It's the hardest part. The dog has to hunt the field. It's typically anywhere from 3 to 10 acres. It kind of just depends what you have for cover. In the upland, for a master dog, they have to point for 10 seconds, but then they have to be steadied through wing and shot. So the bird gets kicked, bird flies, they shoot the bird goes down. Bird goes down, we say dog as judges, and then the dog can be sent on the retrieve. So when we do anything in these fields for upland, if the bird is not being able to be produced because of conditions or because of a safety reason where we can't shoot into a certain space, then we will do a simulated retrieve in the upland.
So there you have it. Quite a program they were running here today. It was impressive for sure. The water retrieves were really fun to watch, and to see so many quality dog handlers, well, it was pretty cool.
Good dog.
The American Pointing Lab Association was pretty impressive for sure. As an upland hunter myself, the ongoing conversation of what is the best kind of dog to hunt behind, well, that still rages on. Many will say you need a pointer. Some prefer the Flushing breeds, and some, like the labs running today, are almost a hybrid with the skills to do both pointing and retrieving. If you're looking for a place to learn more about dog handling, this group might be a good fit for you. If you're looking for a new breed, maybe a pointing lab is for you. One thing is for sure, hitting the upland woods or the water with a well-trained dog is pretty special. Thanks to all for showing me around today, and good luck this fall here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, we're here once again in Mount Pleasant, Wood Shop Social, Jim Wood, chef extraordinaire, and I believe we have some trout fillets here.
We do.
What is the plan of attack? What are we doing here, Jim?
So we're going to saute the trout, and we're going to serve it with a roasted potato salad. So where we roast the potatoes beforehand,
okay,
and then we chill them out so it gives them just a different flavor profile. And then instead of using just your standard mayonnaise mix, we're actually using Ramulad, which is a sauce we make here in house. It's mayonnaise, horseradish, stone ground mustard, green onions. There's I think 12 things in it.
Wow.
So it really takes the salad to a different level.
Okay.
And then we're going to make a quick dill citrus sauce to go over top of it.
Okay. Well, let's get started. What are we going to do to these trout fillets here?
Take our fish, skin side down, put it in away from us. The oil doesn't hit you. People have a tendency to really overcook fish. Some fish is forgiving, you can do it. Other fish, not so much. But I'd say for a fillet this big, 1.5 minutes on each side, tops.
So you really didn't season that really much at all, just a little bit of salt?
Just a little bit of salt. Yeah, you don't need to, especially if you're cooking on high heat, you don't want to put pepper on here because pepper has a lot of oil in it and it burns. And it burns fast. And that'll make your fish bitter. All right, so that's good to go. I'm going to take that right off. So now we're going to add fresh orange juice, fresh lemon juice, touch of salt, and then we're going to add some butter. And we're just going to let that do its thing. Add some dill, fresh dill.
Wow.
Which goes really good with potato salad. So now you've got those potatoes. Add half cup of cooked egg, half cup raw celery, 1/4 cup raw onion, of red onion, and 1/4 cup of green onion. And then you're going to go in with your Ramulad.
So the butter citrus sauce is just for the on top of the fish, and then this is alongside. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much we'll actually put on the fish. We'll probably put majority of it around the plate, actually.
Okay.
You've done all that work to make your skin as crispy as you can make it. You start putting sauce on top of it. A lot of times that's gonna.
Okay.
This is gonna be skin-on sautéed rainbow trout with citrus butter dill sauce and a roasted potato salad.
Oh my.
Is it good?
That is really good. Holy cow, that citrus sauce.
Well, it's simple. It's got 4 ingredients. No reason to get crazy with it.
Well, hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Michigan Out of Doors this week. We sure do appreciate it. If you missed part of this week's show or maybe last week's show, you can always catch us anytime online. You can do that through our social media platforms, website, or YouTube. You can actually subscribe to our channel there on YouTube and get an email every time we post something new. There should be lots of new stuff coming because there is a lot of great stuff happening around the state right now. Get out and enjoy it. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Network Outdoors, connecting members to share experiences, help grow businesses, and to give back to the outdoor community. Learn more at one of 10 monthly meetups or online at networkoutdoors.com.
By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA. By Greenmark Equipment. Greenmark Equipment is a John Deere dealership network in southwest Michigan and northern Indiana. Greenmark provides sales and services to farmers, commercial businesses, large property owners, and homeowners. Information about pricing and products available can be found online at greenmarkequipment.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Double E Ranch Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3 foundation working to make hunting and fishing accessible for those with disabilities.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love